If your ink's too slow and your nib won't flow, here's one of the places that you can go. Larry is here to see you through with Mr. Announcer and Cubby too. It's Larry's Fountain Pen Reviews.
Okay, let's get started, folks. Whoever comes in, they can come in late, and I don't know where Mr. Tony.
I'm just letting Tony in the door.
Oh, okay. Tony's coming in the door. Thank
There's
God.
Tony.
Better late than never.
The hour.
Oh, yeah, you better wave coming in like that. Heck, don't start no stuff either, dude.
Making an entrance.
Yeah.
That's it. Howdy,
Okay.
everybody.
All right.
Hey.
So, hey, listen up, everybody. If you want to ask questions, raise your hand. If not, Mr. Franco's going to zero you out. Whatever that means. And so here we go. We're waiting.
What kind of pen?
What kind of pen is? Hi, Governor. I wonder where Dan is.
Oh, there's Dan.
There's Dan.
Wow.
Man. No. Whoa. You see Dan there and Jacob's there. Dan's there and Jacob's there. Okay. Hey, why don't we do the round table like they do in the nights, and everybody say your name and where you're from, and then we're going to get right into it. Okay.
Let's start off with Frank from Federalist. Go ahead, Frank.
So I'm Frank Limper. How are you? Federalist Pens from South Jersey. Online pen store. You guys know by now. Good to be here.
That's excellent. Great to have you. Frank O.
I'm Frank Overman from Arlington, Texas, a neighbor of Larry's, and I don't get to see him often enough, but I do get to see him once in a while.
Yeah. Well, if you want to see him, just go by Starbucks. Mark.
Hey, I'm here in Arlington, Texas as well. So nice to meet you, Frank.
All right. Marcus. How about Mark from Federalist? Marky. He's must be frozen.
Yeah, he's on strike.
He's on fire.
Yeah.
Jeff.
On strike. It's muted.
Hey, greetings from Hazlet, New Jersey. Hi, everybody.
Good to see you, Jeff.
Good to see you. Thanks.
Samantha is in the house.
Hey. Hi, I'm from Duncan, Victoria area on Vancouver Island in British Columbia, Canada.
Oh, great. So good to have you. Are you at work, Samantha?
No, I'm not. I had Monday and today off.
Oh,
so
wow.
I'm actually in my house and not on the bus. So I'm sorry you don't all get to see my beautiful commute.
Troy is in. Troy, good to see you.
Hey guys, Troy LaPlante. I'm in Selma, North Carolina.
All right, Troy.
Grover,
Grover, how you doing, Grover?
Doing good, Tony. Grover Arnett from Sayersville, Kentucky. Good to see everybody. By the way, Frank, what kind of pen is that? That you were using? That's a cool looking pen.
This one.
Mm-hmm.
This is the pen of the evening we're going to be talking about. This is one of the click pens.
Oh, wow.
That looks like something that we all know, and we'll get into that. And Troy there also has his, and he did a review as well.
It looks
Larry
like
just got done reviewing.
It looks like
it sure does. We are going to talk at length about these tonight.
Okay, good. Sayersville, Kentucky. Glad to be here.
Excellent.
Great. Maya, it's good to see you. I see she just she needs to go to get her beauty sleep. It's, we can say hi to Maya. Rosemary.
Hi. Hello, everybody from Florida.
All right. Good to have you, Rosemary. Jacob. Jake.
Hello.
Hi.
I'm Jacob Roseberry. I'm from Pawnee, Illinois, and I know Dan Roseberry.
I don't know anything about this guy.
Would they be? Would you happen to be related in some way, some fashion?
Yes. Brothers and sisters have I none, but this man's father is my father's son.
His father.
Our condolences.
I love it. Deborah.
Hi, my name is Deborah, and I'm from Staten, Italy, New York.
I love that. Love that accent. Yeah. Dan Roseberry.
I am from just a few miles from Pawnee, Illinois.
Wow. Gerard, I know that. It's really funny because each one of you that are telling you where you're from, I already know where you're from. Tina. There you are.
Sorry, guys, I'm here. I'm outside of Chicago in Bentonville, Illinois.
All right. It's good to see you, Tina.
Hey, sorry, I'm trying to make dinner.
No, keep cooking. It smells good. Paul?
Hey, I'm from Paul from Monroe, Michigan. Well, just outside of Monroe.
Oh, nice. Nice to have you, Paul. Mr. Fulton? You're muted.
Justin. Hi, I'm Justin. I've had a pen problem for the last 3 years.
It's not going to get any better here, by the way. Just
what
so
was
you
the
know.
prompt? I was late. I'm a bad student.
Nothing. Just saying who you were and where you're from is all.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, see, I got all deep. And all right, sorry. Confession's over.
And,
okay, Washington is where I'm
there
from.
you go. There you go. Maya, we know you're there. You're still on, and you're muted, but it's good to see you and good to have you here for the time that you're able to. I think that covers it, Larry. I'm Tony from Kansas
Mark
City.
C. Did you get Mark C over there?
I think he did earlier when
Yes,
I
you got me.
You did, yes.
Okay.
He's my neighbor, Larry.
Oh, okay. So here's what's happening, folks. A lot of stuff's happening. Of course, since I'm weird or whatever you want to call me, it doesn't bother me. Personally, I don't care. But anyway, this Pen Hangout is going to be dedicated in memory of Charlie Watts. You know, one of my favorite all-time drummers. When I heard what happened, you know, I didn't think Charlie was that kind of sick, because when I last heard from Charlie, he was telling everybody that he wasn't going to be able to do the Stones tour because of the doctor said he needed to sit this one out. And then later, after I heard he passed away, they were doing some info on him that a few years back that he was treated for throat cancer. So they're thinking maybe this came back and got him. So I don't know. But anyway, it just kind of, you know, like I told you earlier, Tony, it just threw me for a loop. But so that's for that one. So, okay, so here's what we're going to do while we're talking. And I've decided that I am going to have someone in this group choose the winner of my giveaway from Federalist Pens and Paper. So with that said, you're going to be able to go to Frank's store and you're going to be able to pick out a pen. Frank, you want to show yours and I'll show mine.
Excuse me?
Click.
What kind of Zoom is this?
Zoom-a-rama, and I think Troy has one.
We got pen envy going on.
Oh, start, Tony.
And Troy has one
the
too.
Click.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Troy has one too. This is the Click Renaissance fountain pen from India. It is the first collection that I'm working with. So Click Pens is relatively new to the US. And this is the Renaissance, and this is called the Da Vinci. It's orange and black. Troy actually has the Raphael. His is red and black trim, for those of you who can see it. And Larry there has the Baltic blue. He's also reviewed.
Yeah, and I've actually got one more that I haven't shown anybody. There's a reason for that, because of you know, if someone watches the video, they'll know they're getting it. So
okay, so anyway, so they'll be able to go to his website and pick out any one of those pens that they want. Plus, what size nibs do you have, Frank?
It comes fine, medium, and broad.
Okay, so you'll be able. They will be able to choose the nib size as well. Also, with that said, you'll be able to choose one of whatever inks that are made for Frank. Frankly, blue. You want to go over those, Frank, real quick?
Well, you're giving away one of my Robert Oster Frankly inks, which consists of 4. It's Frankly Blue, the first one, Frankly Scarlet, Scarlet Red, Frankly Green, dark green, and my Frankly Fifth, which is my 5th anniversary ink, which is a sapphire, a bluish purple ink. So one of those 4, along with the Click pen. And what else are we giving away?
Okay, and then we're going to go to the paper. Mr. Announcer, would you announce the paper?
Well, this is the Ayush paper.
Now, you'll be able to choose whatever size you want. Now, this is the large size, the, what is it, 8 by 11, I believe, size here, which is really neat paper. Love it. And then here's the other one. And then I have one, and then the small pocket one. And I believe Frank said he had a few others that's on there. Frank will show you some more.
Sure. Well, they come in various sizes, as Larry mentioned. They come, the pad itself comes in pocket. It comes in A5. It comes in A4, the larger one, in gray line, green dotted, brown for blank. It says unruled. And also in salmon colored for grid. And we also have different journal covers. So Larry has one here. This one says you can't stop feeling, but you can write it down. You can't stop your feelings, but you can write them down, basically what they're saying. Paper don't judge, as Larry has.
Yeah.
But first eat, first food, for foodies. These are journals. These are all lined. They are dated. These are lined with that 100 GSM paper. So a nice notebook journal. And the last one is Empty Yourself Here, which Nadine isn't crazy about title-wise, but I think this means, put your emotions, put your emotions down,
Okay,
So,
if y'all give me a minute, Frank, Tony, would you keep the folks entertained while I talk to Mr. Announcer, and then when I get back, the reason why, okay?
The tap dance? We'll do a tap dance?
Tony the Tiger.
Yeah.
Tony.
I think, if I'm not mistaken, the Ayush paper is really affordable. Is that correct, Frank? It's really not badly priced.
no, not at all. The pocket pads are $5. The A5 paper pads are $9. The A4 size, the larger size, are $12.
Right.
And the journals are $10. So yes, it's actually really good.
I bought that A4 pad from you, and I'm pretty much done with it now. I've used it to correspond. Many of you on here that I write to, I used at least a sheet of that when I was writing to you all, to let you see that how that works, and it seems to hold the fountain pen ink really well.
Yeah, they're very ink friendly.
Yeah.
Great paper. They've been well reviewed by Larry and a couple other people. Yeah. I did have a price increase at the beginning of August. Unfortunately, India also had a shipping increase, and that got passed on to me, so I have to pass that on to everyone else. I'm spending more for shipping than I am for the paper, unfortunately. And that is what happens, unfortunately, especially countries as far away as India, and Australia with ink and stuff like that, But other Click pens, aside from the ones that we showed you, there is a Michelangelo, which is white and black. There is the Raphael that Troy has, which is red and black. There's a Da Vinci, which looks like a certain celluloid pen that we all know and love from the past, in the orange and black. It also comes in solid. They call this pink. It's actually more of a purple. It's like a very hot pink. It's more of a purple, if you ask me, but he calls it pink. It comes in glacier blue, which is a nice teal, which I actually don't have anymore. That goes fast. I have a new shipment coming in, hopefully next week. I just ordered it over the weekend, so it takes him about a week or so for it to get to me. And Larry has the Baltic blue, which is the lighter blue, and this is the darker blue called the flashy blue.
Wow, beautiful.
So this is more like a midnight blue.
And
There's
the price
also-
point, what's the price point on those?
These are $45.
Man, that's cheap.
These are $45 US. Very good nibs. They're Canwright nibs in fine, medium, and broad. They're more upscale than a standard, cheaper Canwright nib, you know. And
is that plastic feed? I know a lot of the Indian companies use the ebonite.
Yeah, it's plastic feed.
Okay.
It'd be more money with ebonite, sure.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Okay, folks, we're back, and here's what we're going to do. We're going to choose one of you guys on here to pick the winner of this giveaway I'm doing. So we have decided to choose you, Rosemary.
Me?
All right, Rosemary.
You.
Pressure's on, Rosemary.
Yes. You will choose the winner. Okay. And then that's all I'm going to say for that. So now let's move on to another giveaway that we're doing with Pen Boutique. We're going to be doing the ink came out in 2019. It was the Tokyo Blue Denim. So Mr. Announcer, you'd like to elaborate on that a little bit and tell them what's going on with that one?
Yes. In order to win the Tokyo Blue Denim ink, you need to look on the IMBD movie website, look for the original version of Rollerball, and find out what the proper pronunciation of Tokyo is.
And then the winner, we were thinking about trying to do it tonight, but you want to wait and have that announcer do it.
It's already set for Wednesday.
For Wednesday. Okay, so that will be picked on Wednesday. So we'll probably do another Zoom special for this, or YouTube or something to pick the winner on that one. Okay, so with that said, anybody have any new pens? Right now, now this is just me, everybody has their own opinion. I am trying to open the door for India. I think India, through the years, have had bad raps about the quality of their pens. I know that I get negative comments that they're not a quality pen, they're cheap, they're this or that. Well, the people that I've been dealing with and interacting with seem to be above that level now. They're serious pen makers. They put their heart into it. They put their energy into it. It represents them now. And they know they have to come out with a good pen. So they're putting out quality pens. And I think Frank will back me up on this. I know I like them. I hopefully Troy will like his click pen. But so I'm working with several right now to trying to open the doors and show their products to let people know, hey, this is what's happening in India right now. So we got that going on. And I've got some other pens that I can't show you right now that come from Magna Carta. I can't show those yet, sorry, but they're dynamite. Both have ebonite feed and both are knockout to die gorgeous. Yes, yes. So we'll leave it at that. So anybody have any new pens?
Sam has something. She's excited. She's excited.
I'm excited. I have new pen and very funny story related to the new pen. So a few weekends ago, my partner and I went to Vancouver to see his family. And the really only reason to go to Vancouver anymore is to go to the Vancouver Pen Shop, which is like the largest, closest to me, staying within my own country. So we went there, and Vancouver parking is notorious for being like stupid expensive. So it's $8 an hour. And the pen store is a 15-minute walk from the closest parking lot. So instead of paying, he sat outside like with the car in a loading zone. And I went in and I looked around and I found the most gorgeous Faber-Castell Neo Slim, all matte black with a black nib. Like, it's a sexy pen. It's a sexy pen. So I bought it and it was on sale, which is just like, on top of everything. So I bought it and I got back in the car and I show it to him and he starts talking about it as if it's his pen. No. I bought it for me. And so now he's just kind of claimed it. He's going like, oh, wow, this will look really nice at my office. Like, oh, this will be so cool to show off. I did not buy this for you. I bought this for me. And now he's so into it. So now he's interrogating me about what inks I have. He's never cared before what any of it was. So he's interrogating me about my inks. And as some of my pen pals know, I have blue inks, but they're all like kind of funky a little bit. And that was not okay. That was not acceptable for him. So I'm sitting in the car and he's gone into the store and has picked out
him.
Yeah, the nerve. And he picks out an ink. He comes back to the car and says, it's at the till, so you can buy it. Okay. So I bought him a pen and now ink, and I've gotten nothing. So I went back in and was talking to the guy and told him that what had happened. And he said, well, actually, we have another Neo Slim, and it has the rose gold accents on it. That's also on sale. So do you want to see that? And I said, yes. So that's what I bought for myself.
Oh, wow.
That's what I actually have. And it's super skinny. It looks lovely. I spent way more than I wanted to, though, because I bought 2 of them.
What? Now, what is the name of your former boyfriend now?
His name's Daniel.
I know, we know.
Yeah, he's very sweet. So that was really funny. So that's new pen number 1 and hilarious story. And then new pen number 2 is something I found today at an antique mall, and it's a Schaefer, and I know nothing about it.
Well,
I just buy things and then go from there.
Yeah.
So I can pop it out.
Okay,
looks
good.
like a no nonsense.
There you go.
Exactly, Troy. You're right.
That was my first pen back in 1976.
That's
Anyway,
nice.
it was, I thought it was a good price, and I like the color, and it does
Well,
work.
that's all sexy then, Sam. That's cool. That's
Yeah.
mine.
What,
Yeah, baby.
what type of filling system is this? Is it just got a cartridge in it?
I think
on
it's
the
just a
no-nonsense?
cartridge, because it just kind of looks like where you would
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah.
jab one in.
Is that
Sam,
proprietary?
you
Is
have
it not, Troy?
Yep.
So I'm gonna
Yeah, they are.
Yeah.
do a little looking on their site, and because I don't actually know of a pen shop in Victoria that sells Schaefer. So
Otherwise, an ink syringe, Sam, you can refill those. Once it's empty, you
Just
can
use-
refill it with
yeah.
whatever ink you want.
so I don't have
with
to
an ink
keep
syringe.
rebuying cartridges. I can just
Exactly.
use one and then refill it and stick
With
it.
with any color you want.
Yeah.
Yeah, just find a blunt tip syringe. You can get them on Amazon for silly cheap.
Yeah, I have a good stock of them actually, because my best friend works at a hospital, so she steals them for me.
There you go.
Some black market syringes here. It's wild up here. As Tony knows, and Tina too, I recently moved to from downtown Victoria to the middle of the woods. So now it's all sketchy.
That's all
But
right.
those are my new finds and my very expensive date with my guy. He really owes me.
Next time you need to have him drive.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know if it was a better idea if we actually paid for parking and he came in the store, because I think he would just glaze over with me talking and asking questions and looking at things for so long. I think he might have just glazed over and sat and played on his phone and then not really be with it when I actually bought it. But yeah.
So you've enabled someone to use fountain pens now.
Yeah, that's my second person. I also got I teach dance, and for my student's 10th birthday, I got her a little preppy. That's like the hot pink color. and she has used it like to death. Her mom says they have gone through, I think, 7 cartridges on it now. She's just like, everything she writes now is in it. All her work and all her like journals, and she likes to write stories, so she uses it for that. So it's really cute. And yeah, I'm a bad influence on people apparently.
I'm going to take a minute here and let Mr. Announcer talk about some upcoming guests we're having.
Okay, we have 2 Zoom Pen Hangouts scheduled for future. We have on September the 19th at 1 o'clock Central Daylight Time, all the way from Europe, Used Apple Boom. That's the 19th of September. And then the following month, 10/24, we have another international celebrity, Dante Del Vecchio, also at 1 o'clock. And you can also get this schedule by looking at mrannouncer.info.
And now there's one that I'm not going to mention because it's touch and go. I know it's a he, and this is a really tough one to get on, not because he doesn't want to, just because. So I've been working, unless I gave him like $10,000, he might show up, but I don't know. Anyway, so those are the upcoming folks that will be coming. Plus a whole lot of new stuff that's going to be happening on Zoom that you will find out later. I mean, it's always going to be something different. It's always going to be something interesting, something happening, because I just can't take dull things. It's got to be fun, exciting. It's got to pop. Okay, so, okay, back to Mr. Tony.
Question for, Frank and Troy. I know that you both have obviously just returned from the DC Pen Show, and it was great. I loved your videos, Troy. I'm wondering if the rest of the other pen shows, are they still going forward with them? Dallas, is Dallas going to have its show, or I'm not sure. I'm just kind of curious.
From what I've Dallas, somebody can mention if they want. Yeah.
Yeah, last I read that Dallas is still going on. People that I know of are still planning on it and buying tickets to go. And I think this weekend coming up is what, San Francisco?
Yep, San Fran is this coming weekend. Yeah.
Last I heard, Dallas is still a go. Now,
Yeah,
but
there's
that can
still
change
7.
pretty quick. Mr. Announcer just informed me that his school. You'd like to share this?
Well, today we had a faculty member and 3 students go home with the virus.
So now are they wearing masks now, or what's the deal?
They are recommending masks, but not requiring them yet.
And the numbers here in Fort Worth have been really high, and they've been steady high. They'll go anywhere from a little over 1,600 down to 600 and back on up. So it's kind of like a seesaw right now. So don't know what's going to happen.
We did have to mask up in DC. There are still 7 shows on the schedule for the rest of the year. And they're all running as far as I know. I'm going to 4 of them. I'm going to Boston, I'm going to Chicago, I'm going to Detroit, and I'm going to Columbus. Chicago will actually be new for me, and that's rescheduled. That'll be the first weekend of October. And that's usually in May in Chicago. And I'll be there. I'm sure we'll have to mask up to each and all of these remaining shows. Like I said, including San Fran, there's 7 left. I won't be going to San Fran. I won't be going to Denver. And I won't be going to Dallas. So yeah, that's the 4 I mentioned, plus them are the 7 that remain. So there's still a full schedule.
What was the attendance like up in DC? I mean, did you have, I know I saw from the videos, it seemed to be well attended, but.
Troy?
Was it?
Saturday was fairly well attended. It wasn't as full as I've seen before. My understanding is it was slightly down. We didn't do much on Sunday for us. I mean, we went a little bit. No, I did Sunday just a little bit, I think. But Saturday, it was still fairly full. But what made it horrible was the way they arranged all the tables in the main room. Because they had all the tables staggered. So you had half the room with rows, and then the other half, the rows were staggered. And so you'd be walking down a row, and then you'd be heading directly into where all the vendors were sitting if you kept going straight. And that was just bizarre. It made for horrible traffic throughout all the rows, and they made the rows fairly narrow. It seemed to be narrower this year for some reason. It was just bizarre.
I think they were trying to distance people to some degree, like social distance, and figure out ways to do that. You know, I'm in the small ballroom where I've always had been since that venue started. So it was very easily to distance yourself there because there's only room in the small ballroom, the way it's set up for aisles either way. I'm against the window out there, and it was very easy, you know. But the main ballroom, yeah, you could be on top of each other, you know, in a normal show in DC, you know. So I think they were trying to stagger it and stack it. We were actually pretty busy. Saturday was great, like you said. It was a good show. It was among my best. So I don't have any complaints. It was well attended, and it went well, I thought. You know, considering it was a COVID pen show, we did really well, and I think it was well attended. And I think that's going to continue. And each show since Raleigh, I've been to 3 so far. I've been to Raleigh, but Miami, and now DC, and each one has gotten better and better.
What was Mario Campa there? I didn't see him.
Yes, he was. Mario was in the small ballroom with me. Yes, he was.
Real quick here, some information that I know about Anderson Pens. Got with Dave, believe it was last week. We got talking about Brian and Lisa, and could I release the information or not? And Dave did get back to me and talked with Brian and said, sure, I could release it. So now I'm going to release it. Because Brian said it would be okay to mention that they are not planning on setting up vendor tables at the Pen Show, and they're moving forward. Brian likely will be attending the Chicago and Ohio Pen Show, but will only be there as a participant, and he will not have a vendor's table at the show. He said, yes, we are hopeful that the Chicago store will be reopening with no issues come late September. And they said, stay tuned for the updates in the newsletter and social media and blogs. And so also what's happening is Lisa is going to be like staying there, and she's going to be working the store because, you know, they've had so many problems with managers in that store. So she'll be working there, and then Brian will be working over here. So they'll be like kind of like that. So that's the latest on that. Okay.
But it's good that they will, that Brian plans to at least come because it is their home show, you know.
Yeah.
And people look at me like I'm crazy, but I tell customers all the time. They ask me, they're like, you know, are you worried about competition? You know, is this cutthroat and all that? And we all know that this is not true. And I've talked about this time and time again. You know, we count on other dealers to come to pen shows. They bring people to pen shows, so. We do count on that, and dealers like me who still showed up at pen shows. You know, a lot of dealers have moved past pen shows. You know, people always look for certain dealers and they don't come to pen shows anymore, or they come to pen shows just to participate and show up, and that's fine. But we still count on you know, people to come. It helps draw people. You know, we count on that. I'm not everybody's favorite dealer. I'm working on it. I'm the favorite dealer of most people here, but yes, you'd be surprised, but you read this on forums all the time that a lot of people refuse to show up because their favorite dealer isn't there. And I keep reiterating, even on the forums, that, you know, you're missing the point of pen shows. Right. Pen shows are very important. Pen shows are your chance to touch and feel the pen. Not something you can necessarily do with an online-only dealer. And if we all become online-only, which could very well happen in the future, you know, we have seen some physical stores close over the past couple of years. I won't get into who. You know, you'll learn about that in time if you haven't heard about it already. as we move to all online only, like I am. But bear in mind too that I also do seasonal shows. I run events for my pen club. I'm the Pelican headmaster. I have other things that go on. I run my seasonal shop. I do my online. I go to shows. I will always go to pen shows, no matter how large I've gotten. I think pen shows are very important. I will always show up to them. I bring a lot of merchandise to pen shows, as I mentioned in my last newsletter. I just published it yesterday, and I talked about the importance of pen shows and why I keep going to them. And I find myself actually being more active in pen shows down the road. So I'm not going to give up on pen shows, and I don't think anyone else should either, just because they feel a favorite dealer hasn't shown up. Pen shows are important. It's camaraderie. We meet people. There's a chance for us dealers to meet our vendors, to see the products ourselves. You guys may know by now that I'm very picky about what I have in my store. The fact that I'm relatively new to the game. This is only my 6th year now. I'm starting my 7th, year. This is my 6th full year as a dealer. And, I'm very picky about what brands I represent, which is why I'm pleased to represent the Indian brands that I represent. We're getting into that. I have Magna Carta. I have Endless Paper. I have Ayush Paper. I have Click now that I'm getting into. All these brands are important. They're very well respected. I mean, I've had some hits or misses over the years. Big hit, of course, with Robert Oster. He took off far beyond me, which is great for him. He's actually celebrated his 5th year as well himself this summer. Again, I'm always looking for the next best deal, but I will also pass on products that I feel aren't worth carrying. Some people are like, why don't you carry this brand or that brand? There's a reason. Personally, I've seen a problem, which is why I refuse to carry certain brands, even if people think they're the best thing since sliced bread. And on that note, again, like I said, it's very important that you do consider your pen shows if you're lucky. Even back in my hobby days when I was just a collector, and maybe I would set up a table at my Philly show, which I did, to sell vintage. I was blessed with being able to go to 4 pen shows. I would go to DC, Baltimore, Philly, and Long Island. I went to them. And then when I became a dealer, a retailer, I just proliferated from there. So, it's very important that you go to pen shows, you meet people, you meet your favorite pen dealer, you meet people, you meet dealers, you see the product. It's all very important. A lot of dealers, like I said, who don't set up, still show up to their home show, possibly. Like Brian's saying, he's going to Chicago, which is great. The Goulets usually go to the DC show. That is their home show. They haven't set up in years, but they go there. And that's very important to the DC show. Drew was there this year. Brian and Rachel didn't come, but Drew was there. Drew was there Saturday and Sunday to greet fans and answer questions. So that's important. Like I said, it's good. So I'm done with the soapbox. But again, that I've just explained to you why I don't envy anybody. I don't think anybody envies me. We do need each other. We count on each other. There's a certain expectation level. What's expected. Even it's me. My brother helps me tremendously at pen shows, and I compensate him different ways. But I don't have employees. There's an expectation level there from employees. Vendors also have certain expectation levels from certain dealers that they don't have from me. I am a 6-figure dealer. I run, low 6-figure sales yearly. So most of my vendors expect 5 figures from me yearly in sales. Other dealers who do 6-7 figures yearly have different expectations. If something happens to that dealer, it can tremendously affect that distributor, that brand, and everything else.
Frank, can you tell me, do you think there is a fair amount of integrity that has to take place amongst your colleagues and vendors and that kind of thing?
Yeah, like I said, we it's a brotherhood. I I was in this hobby for years. I mean, I've collected pens all my life, more or less, just not fountain pens. I used to collect ballpoints and rollerballs because our father was into that. So we grew up with good pens. And I really didn't get into fountain pens till later, until I started teaching and stuff like that. But yeah, we do count on each other. I didn't throw myself under the bus saying, you know, you got to buy from the other dealers, but you get the idea that we all do count on each other. And this is a brotherhood, and it is a hobby. And at the end of the day, a lot of us are selling the same product, which is why dealers like me look to different and unique products to have something different. That's important. But at the end of the day, we all get along great. We all eat and drink at the hotel bar at the end of the day, with each other, with our dealers, with customers. It's really your chance. You should come to a pen show. If you never have, it's a very interesting experience. You learn a lot. And yeah, it's very important that you shop everywhere, that you buy locally, that you shop from your favorite dealer, from your local dealer. You buy locally, even if they're online only, such as myself. You buy locally, you go to pen shows, you see and you support your dealers that are there in order for this to continue. It's very important.
I've got to piggyback on that, Frank. I don't know about the rest of you all that have been to pen shows. I've been lucky enough to go to 3, and I've been in the hobby for a while, but I say 5 years now. But my first experience in St. Louis, that was my very first year, the one where I arrived with no clothes. Well, actually I had clothes on, but my luggage didn't arrive with me. So, my very first, it's memorable. But it was all about the pens. My very first show, I was anxious just to get in there and look at every pen, and I was thinking about buying. I want to buy pens, and ultimately by the end of the show and the beginning of my second year in St. Louis, something had flipped. It was still about pens, but it ultimately ended up being about the people, the vendors, and the people that were down there. You start making friends, and you start realizing. This is you go out to dinner with all these people, like-minded people that are excited about the same thing you are. The pen shows are really a gathering of people with like interests, and it's easy to make friends. And of course, I made friends with the vendors like yourself, Frank. And if I go to another pen show, which I hope to go to someday real soon, it's going to be because I want to see people like yourself and all my other friends that go down there. And then you run into some of your pen pals as well that happen to be there. It's a lot of fun. But it's a great opportunity to try out and really support those people that are doing this for a living.
Definitely. We count on it. Like, again, adding on what I said, we all buy from the same vendors. U.S. dealers are required to. This is a license agreement that you sign up with, with the makers. We all know the same people. We all work with the same people. Like I said, we all eat and drink with the same people at the end of the day. Mm-hmm. So, like I said, again, it's a brotherhood. It's almost like a circus life to a point. For lack of a better word, but you see the same dealers and vendors. You see everybody because you travel together, and you see them at the next show. Like I mentioned, there's 16, 17 shows around the country per year. And I am basically going to between 10 and 12 at this point. So 12, I would have done 12 this year. I'm doing 7, even what we went through this year. Luckily, in the 6 months that we had, I'm going to 7. And we see the same people. We work with we all work with the same vendors, distributors. We all buy from the same people. We all know each other. Everyone, the dealers all pay the same thing for the same product. Again, this is a license requirement. Just like you are only allowed to discount products for so much. Again, this is part of your contract, what you signed for. So it's good, and it's important. Everybody meets everybody. Everybody gets to know everybody. I've dined with vendors. I've dined with fellow dealers. I've dined with Brian Goulet. I've dined with the Andersons. Brian and Lisa are friends. I was their customer before I decided sell pens. Like I said, I was going to pen shows 10 years before I even thought about I was going to do retail. So I know these people before. I think that's one of the reasons why I was able to be so successful, because I kind of knew what I was looking at, what I was looking for in this hobby, just by talking to vendors and fellow dealers over the years. So I knew what products I wanted to have, which ones I didn't want to have. And, things have been very good. And they've been very accepting of me too. First it was like, what's Frank up to? What's he trying to do? But, once, they see you're a great guy and you have a great product and, you do what you're supposed to do and you treat everybody right, it's great. Like you said, it's a brotherhood, At the end of the day, we all eat and drink together.
Hey guys, speaking of Indian pens, I just got 2 pens from India, and you might have seen this. Let me take it out of this package. These are the Vizier pens, and can you see that? Okay, I'm not sure if the light.
Did you say Brazier?
I'm
just kidding. I don't know.
But it's kind of interesting. In fact, yeah, here it is. Here's the name of it. I don't know if you can see it.
V-A-Z-I-R.
V-A-Z-I-R.
Oh, Vizier. Okay.
Yeah, Vizier. And we know where your mind is there, Tony. Is it?
I'm just trying to keep abreast of all the new pen stuff. That's all.
Yeah,
nice try, Tony. Good one, Tony.
And he used the word abreast, and it was no pun intended, right, Tony?
I don't know.
Oh, man.
All you have to do is look at his jokes online, and you know where he's
No, stay away from those.
Yeah,
that's a nice.
The weird thing is the packaging is very interesting. It's a see-through packaging.
It's like the ASC pens, right?
Yeah, that's right.
I didn't know about that. Yeah, but this is kind of different packaging, and it's actually a chessman, because there's a chess figurine here on the end of it. I don't know if you can see or not.
No.
On one end, yeah, maybe the lighting is off.
No, you got to get closer to the camera there if you can.
Okay.
There you go.
And then maybe this is like a chess king there, I think.
Yeah.
At the very end, if it's focusing on it. But anyway, and I still have not inked it or anything.
Wow.
But it comes with the number 6 nib.
What's the feed? Is it ebonite or plastic?
This one is plastic. This particular one, and it's a cartridge converter. And along with it, I guess as a free gift, which I wasn't expecting, I got a mask to boot.
Oh wow!
That was nice. And then there was another one that's also from the Vizier company. This one's called the Healer because it's kind of designed. I guess it's a limited edition, but and here again, it's
wow.
This one is a little bit a kind of a purple color or mauve or something like that, and it's got let me see if I can get it's got an EKG heartbeat looking thing on it.
Oh yeah.
And then there's a heart there, and this one is just a little bit smaller than the other one, but it still has a number 6 nib. And also,
did you buy those through a vendor or through a straight from India?
I ordered it directly. They had a link from Facebook.
Okay.
And and I don't know if you've seen the ad for it. I mean, like the guy who wrote about it, I guess on Fun Pen Network, something. He had a little website that you could click on and go to.
What's the manufacturer name again?
Vizier, V-A-Z-I-R. And I think it's VAZIR I guess maybe .com or something. Where do you go, or Vizier pen? I'm not sure right now offhand. And here again,
how much did you pay for those? How much did you pay for
The chess one was between 60 to $80. So, but and this one actually is numbered. The healer one has a number. This is number 54 out of 100, which is on the end of it.
Okay.
It's BazirFountainPens.com.
Oh, thank you. Yeah. So anyway, I still have not inked them yet, which I will probably soon and enjoy that. But because I just recently got them. I just want to show, and they're from India too. They're coming. It took probably about a month to get here.
That's interesting. Frank, have you noticed, you mentioned that the delay in getting product from India? I know that Magna Carta was kind of behind because of that. And maybe that ties in with what George is getting that taking a while to get it from India. Are you still having delays, Frank?
Yeah, I mean, it takes a while for stuff to get here from there to begin with, and of course, the supply chain situation is not helping, you know. But certain things like paper is relatively pretty good, but pens and ink would definitely take longer. Yes, I think customs has a lot to do with that too, clearing customs and seeing what it is and stuff like that, you know.
Oh. Oh, that's interesting.
So what else? Ultramarine blue, Homo sapiens. Just
oh,
in.
the blue. The
blue.
I love mine.
Larry also reviewed this recently. Yep. I sold a prototype to this at the DC show. Coles, of course, was there to take our orders, and they told me it might take as much as a month. And I told them to, you know, I wanted a couple, and then to ship one off to Larry as well. And lo and behold, later that week, after we got back, they're like, they're here. I'm like, great. You know, send me my 3 and send one to Larry, and you know, we'll go from there. You know, so great.
Magnetic cap. Is this still the magnetic cap?
Oh yeah, yep. It's the same as the red, the sandstorm and the blizzard, and this is the next one, the 4th one. Hopefully they'll do more. I think we were joking about maybe like a green or jade. You know, I'll propose that to them as well. That would be nice, something like a darker green. This dark blue,
a
really,
green one would
really
be cool.
nice. It's really green one would be good. Yes, green would be good. Something else that I just got today. I didn't even get to put on the site yet because I didn't realize it was coming.
Oh, wow.
Are these new preppies? The preppy WAs, the WAs. These are the
preppies. Oh, you got the preppies now?
Yep.
Right. You got preppies now?
Oh, what do you mean?
Okay, cool.
These are new preppies. I always have preppies. I may not have them on the site, but I always have preppies. I have always treated preppies as like a giveaway pen. If I bring them to shows, and sometimes I will throw them in a box as my giveaway. So instead of treats and sweets, I usually give away something. You know that, Larry. Everybody here knows that I give something in my box.
Always, yeah.
So this is the newest one. These are meant to look like maquillé. They're not, obviously, but they're preppies. So they all have some kind of etching on them. There's a black one. It looks like it has like Asian fans on it. You know, different designs in the aqua one here. Blue, pink with flowers. Purple.
How much are they, Frank?
Design. They're $7. They're $1 more than the other ones. Since I didn't expect I was getting them, and I just got them, pleasantly surprised. I actually will be posting these. And this is one that has snowflakes. The red one actually has snowflakes on it. So I'll be posting these tomorrow. And they're called the Preppy WA, and they're $7. And it comes in those 6 different colors in fine and medium, like all preppies do. And
do
I
the
do have
other
preppy.
preppies have a design?
No, just these.
Okay, I didn't
The
think
other
they.
preppies, yeah, the other preppies come 0.02, 0.03, and 0.05 in either blue or black.
Interesting. Interesting.
Okay, folks, it's getting close to that time. Not yet, but let's just go ahead and get the mystery over with. So, you already told Rosemary, right? So she's
Yes.
Okay, Rosemary.
Yes.
That was all yours, dear. Pick the winner. It's
Well,
all
I
on
don't.
your shoulders, so that way they don't get mad at me.
I'm afraid that somebody will get mad at me, but you can only pick one, right?
Right. Listen up now, Frank. This is it.
Okay. Well, I am going to pick somebody with the initials LM.
Yes.
I know who that is. I know who that is.
So obviously I came in late, but what's the scoop here?
Congratulations. You won stuff.
I am just thrilled about that.
You're the winner.
You're the winner, Lannis.
Oh, yay.
Hey,
You're
Lannis.
Larry, let her
win.
know
You
what
win.
she's won.
Keys
Let her
to
know
a
what she's
car.
won, Don Pardo. And I will,
Okay, Lana. I tell you what, Lana.
and I'll hold it up.
All right. You'll be able to go to Frank's store and choose any color or nip size that he has available of the click. And he'll show you one. And I think, Troy, would you mind showing yours as well, sir? And I have the blue one.
That's a sweet looking pen.
Yeah.
So sorry for my ignorance, but who makes it?
And here's the blue one real quick.
That
It
is
is
the
called
name.
Click.
Click.
It
Click
is a
the
company
brand.
from India.
Oh, look at that blue. Holy.
And also, you'd be able to choose one bottle of any of the 4 of Frankly inks. And then you'll be able to choose any one of the paper. I have 3 here. This is the large pad, and then the pocket, and then the A5 type here. And then Frank has some more.
And so this is Irish paper, also from India.
Wow. Wow.
So, yeah.
Well, thank you, Rosemary, for choosing my initials. I'm not quite sure how you did that, but anyway, thank you very much.
So we're not done yet. So now we got to go back to Rosemary. Since Rosemary couldn't be a winner, she couldn't even be in it. That's a bummer. Isn't that a bummer, Rose? That's a bummer.
It is a bummer.
So Rosemary, you'll be able to go. Now, don't get a big head, not that big of a deal. So you're going to be going to Frank's store, and you can pick out any one of the click pens you want.
Wow, Lori!
Thank you.
Look at
that. Oh, that's
Look
wonderful.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
I was gonna say, I live like in a huge metropolitan area, but there's no pen store near me. The closest pen show is 5 hours away from me. So I have never bought a pen that I've actually seen or tried. Every one of my pens has been purchased online. I've never been able to feel one or check it out before I
That's a
bought
bummer. Wow.
Oh,
That's
wow.
that's
Wow.
the whole fun in it. If able to go to a pen show and actually have them in your hand.
I know. And I'm just it may be a good thing, but it's a bad thing, but it's a good thing that I don't live anywhere near Frank, because I'm in there every week. But thank you very much.
You're welcome.
That's awesome.
So-
Congratulations to both of you.
So
Well, thank you.
My whole idea with is I usually will post it on one of my Facebooks or both of my Facebook groups, and maybe sometimes in social medias, but I'm saying, you know what, let's just concentrate on the folks that actually come to the Zoom Pen Hangout. So that's what I'm going to be doing from time to time. And I'm already thinking about Christmas, so I'm going to have to get with Mr. Franco and talk behind enemy lines what I plan on doing. So he'll be ready for it. And I think you guys are going to be ready for it, whoever wins it. So, there.
Well, can I say on behalf of this whole group here, Larry, how much we appreciate your efforts in putting these all together, and how hard you work to make sure that these Zooms are a positive thing, and gives us an opportunity to actually to join up together. Because when this virus thing eventually disappears, and let's pray that it happens soon, it maybe not, but when it does, where we can gather together, I hope these Zooms don't stop, because you know, I would have never gotten to know half of you here without that, and it's great to be able to connect. And I'm planning to go to Duncan, British Columbia, where I can go to a store with Sam and send her in, and whatever she comes out with, I'm gonna have a pen. Let her
Sam,
pick out
what's
the
in
Canadian
Duncan?
BOGO.
What
Yeah,
store
really.
is there, Sam?
We have one pen store in Duncan that's like an office supply shop, but they sell pretty much all of Lami's products.
Okay.
So that's the closest. And then in Victoria, which is where I actually work, which is about an hour away, which sucks to do every day, there's two pen stores. One is the largest Canadian retailer of diplomats, but he also sells like Mont Blancs and Lamy and weird, like kind of weirder ones, like a sty pen. I have it here, which is like a retractable thing.
Oh, cool.
Which is kind of cool. So he's got like lots of weird pens. And then there's another store that again sells like a kind of mishmash of a few different brands, but they're most known for selling the Ferris wheel press pens and ink.
Do you ever get to Vancouver Pen Shop?
I do. And that's where this horrible story that I shared of my partner stealing my pen took place. I don't go over to the mainland as much anymore. Mainly, there was quite a few travel restrictions in place because of COVID. So travel between the island and the mainland was cut off. And then it opened up and my partner and I went, but mainly just to see like our family, or like his family still lives there. And then we have quite a few friends that are still there. So we'll go to see them, but to be fair, most people come to see us. So we don't get over as much as I would like to, mainly just to buy pens, but that's probably a good thing money-wise that I don't live there. So
I was a
love that
little late
shop.
sorry.
I love
was
that.
a little late to the game, but Tony, how was your course?
It was fine. What she's referring to is I went to a week in Omaha, Nebraska for the IAMPIT convention or conference. It was scary, but it was fun. It was a lot of fun. And most of you that I'm writing to, in fact, Sam's getting yours letters going out tomorrow. Tina, Lannis, all of you guys got letters coming out. I'll tell you all about it in the letter. But it was a lot of fun. Very few fountain pens. They had fountain pen. I think it was called paper ink art. They're out of, I think, Kentucky or Tennessee. They sell all kinds of art supplies and you know, nibs and everything else. And they were the store there. They were the only store there where you can go in and buy different kinds of goodies. They had a few fountain pens, but everybody there was dip pen. You know, so it was a lot of fun. Great time.
Did you feel intimidated?
Oh, absolutely. I was terrified.
There's such talented people at IAM.
A lot of artistic people there. And you know what? I was there was about 300 people there in attendance. It was a lot of fun. I was able to room. If any of you know who Michael Soul is, that was my roommate.
Really?
He was my roommate for the
with
week.
him? Holy.
Yeah.
Wow.
It was fun.
That's impressive.
Yeah.
Did you see Jake Weideman there?
I took his class. Yes, Jake Weideman was he's an incredible artist, and much more than just a master penman. He's really an incredible sculptor and penman and artist. His class was incredible, and They all were. And really, like the pen shows, that thing was exactly what I explained to you about pen shows. It was all about the people, the friends that you make, the friends, just like here, we're all friends. We've made friends through this wonderful hobby of the fountain pen. That's the same thing up there. I made some lifelong friends up there, and it was great. Good fun. Next year it's in Atlanta, so we'll see about going there. Larry, how you feeling?
A bit better, and I'm using different 10 units right now. I use a full back 10 unit, and I have two of the, that's what you see me here, adjusting the levels on it. So that does pretty good. And what I've also, when I take a shower, I take it every night, I ice cold shower. Of course, you can hear me screaming because I have to put it on my feet and all over my legs and right there on the spine, on the tailbone and the spine, have to leave it on there. And of course on the butt cheeks, because all this is just pain and it numbs it and I can sleep really good at night. So that helps. Then I have these ice packs that I have to wrap up in a towel and I'll lay on them maybe all night long, and that helps freeze the nerves. So that's been going on. So a special thank you to Troy and to Dan. You know, they've been praying for me, and they've continued that. So every little bit helps. My depression state, you know, I believe that I would rather deal with the pain than the depression. There's a different levels of depression, and I guess y'all know by now that depression can kill a person. They're that severe, they're that bad. So when the depression hits me, I'm done. It's sometimes I have to fight, like I've told, I don't know if I told Troy, but I've told Dan, I'm sure, that I have to put on the face, happy, go lucky, smiling, but inside I'm really hurting. So when I have the depression and the pain going on, that's a double whammy. So like right now, you know, I would say my pain level is probably a 3 and no depression. So yeah, I feel really good, and I'm having a really great time. But really what helps me is having these Zooms, meet up with you guys, real people, and I'm among friends, and I really like what I do, pens. You know, that's a lot of fun. You never know what pen's are going to come up, or the ink, or the paper, and you're never going to know what Franco's going to do. That's a character you have to watch. Franco, he's real quiet in the corner. Those are the kind you have to watch. And his partner in crime, Marky. I had to say it, Mark. I apologize. I do try not to say it.
Okay, not like I said, it's fine.
So anyway, folks, does anybody have anything they want to share before we say adios?
I do. And Frank, I hear that tornadoes are headed for Federalist Pens and Paper.
Is that like the retro? Is that the Retro 51 model?
Exactly. Yep.
Oh, okay.
Models that we Mark's got his carbon. Yeah, we've been fans of this brand for a long time. Everybody has at least one tornado with some theme to it, you know. So I have a fountain pen from 15 years ago. It has Schmidt nibs. They now have Yovo nibs in them, in the new models, and I'll be getting them this week. I just put my first order in, and they'll be arriving soon. I'll be updating the site about that. So yeah, pleased to be getting Retro 51 added to the family. So
yeah, those Schmidt nibs are actually really good.
They are. Like I said,
I've got an older one.
Yeah, I have a stainless tornado from like 2006, 2007 with a Schmidt nib medium. It's been very good to me. It was one of my first fountain pens, and it's part of my everyday workhorses, you know. And now they're Yovo, and I'm sure I know Yovo's great, so they're going to be fine.
I've got one in Blackberry.
Yeah, there's one.
Now, Frank, I'd heard a rumor about a year or two ago that Retro 51 was going out of business. Did they manage to keep their business going?
Yep, someone else bought them and continued it. I have a leather-clad Tornado. You know, they're about themes. They have a run of them for so long, and then you know they're discontinued. I know this model's not around anymore, and I think Mark's all carbon's not around anymore either. There's a crossword. Dad's got a crossword. Everybody, I got Nadine's son one of these for graduation, and yeah, so.
The P51
Everybody
great.
Everybody has at least one Tornado in this crew, and I was very pleased to have them added because for a while they did not want online only dealers. They wanted dealers with physical presence, and then of course, like I said, you know, times are changing. You know, I'm not going to get into who. Someone who is very popular in pens did close their physical store this year. And we heard that firsthand from the owner, and you'll hear about that as time goes on. They're moving to a warehouse operation, and they're doing what we're doing, basically going to shows, running events, et cetera, et cetera. And you know, other smaller dealers have unfortunately closed their doors. I have bought inventory of dealer stock over the past year and a half myself, and you know, things happen, and that's okay. And but getting back to what I said before, you know, continue buying from, you know, your local dealer. People buy from people like me. We are there at pen shows. Please do not showroom at pen shows. I'm talking to everyone out there. We see this all the time, and this is not very good for the dealers that do stuff at pen shows. Showrooming means you come to our tables, you look at a product, you look at it, you walk away, and you go buy it online from someone else.
Yeah, that ain't cool.
We all charge the same price. We are all required to charge the same price. This is an agreement. This can affect if a dealer is caught undercutting someone, that dealer could be stripped of that right to represent that product. That vendor could also lose the right to carry that brand in the U.S.
Wow.
So there are repercussions. There are repercussions all the way around.
Because you know the email conversation that you and I just had. About looking for that Montegrappa. And I mean, I saw almost $100 swing between some vendors. You know, and you saw the one I sent you that was they were down to $395, and others were charging, you know, $450, $475, with a full retail of $495 MSRP. So right. I just found that interesting, that huge swing. Yeah.
There's right when the license agreement is, you know, 20% and that's it, you know, saying that, you know, I don't want to get into it, but of course sometimes pen shows are pen shows, you know, sometimes, you know, you could bundle and possibly do better, but you know, the agreement is the license agreement. 20% off on site is allowed, what you are allowed to discount, and that is it. And if you get more than the list, more power to you. It's not good practice. I mean, the reputation gets out there that, you know, you are overpricing, but you know, that's not good practice in the long run. But as far as discounting goes, we all agree to the same discount, no matter who you are, no matter how many you buy, no matter how much of a volume discount you may get. Most of us, again, buy from the same people, buy from the same dealer. Most of us buy at the same price. It's true, if you do buy a ton of them, you might get an extra 5 to 10% off on your wholesale cost. That's quite possible. And the whole idea is for you to pass that on to your customers, ideally. You know, but yeah, basically there is a license agreement. We are all bound to do that. And like I said, there's repercussions for not doing it. You know, there's debate on, you know, all kinds of things, you know, about dealers coming here that have a European presence that are now here in the US, that could happen. I don't know if that's happened yet, but that could happen. If that did happen, that dealer would also have to buy from the US distributors in their US store. Just saying, you know, that hasn't happened yet as far as I know. But if that did happen, that would be the agreement. Again, there's repercussions if they do otherwise. So just putting that out there,
Real quick, how many people in this room use rollerball? Okay, so keep this in mind. I have here a brand new rollerball that I purchased from Vanessa back in 2015. The Fort Worth Pen Club met with her and Jim and Federico. Isn't that right, Federico?
Francisco.
Here we go again. Alzheimer's or whatever I have. Anyway, so here's the pen, and it's the Tornado. It's a rollerball. It's green. So this pen has been sitting up on the shelf, what's going on 7 years, waiting for a home. So
brand new, huh?
On one of my Zooms, I'm going to be having, this is going to be given away. So I want to keep that in mind. So now let me say this. I'm not sure if the ink still is any good or not. You might need a refill. 7 years. I don't know how long they last. They're still good, Tina?
Probably not. Probably
Tina says
not.
it's still good. Good.
But it's very easy to buy them. Retro 51 makes refills, and Schmidt also makes refills for them, and I have them. They're on my site as well.
So anyway,
very easy to
this will be going to some lucky home soon. Okay.
Hey, Larry.
Yes, sir.
As long as we're still talking about giveaways,
yes,
I've still got some of these Waterman GIFs.
Yeah.
Anybody who never got a chance to get one before, reach out to me, direct message me. I know you got one, Tony.
I did. Thank you so much for that. That's incredible. I've been showing that to everybody. They're enjoying that a lot.
Yeah, I saw the tracking, but yeah, I've got some more of these. So if you guys reach out to me, you go to like troylaplant.com. Look at my name here up here. Put it all together.com, and there's a form at the bottom of the page. Just hit me up and I'll send you one if I haven't sent you one before. And I'll send you a cartridge with it too.
And they really write extremely well.
They do.
Yeah, I was really surprised. They're a fun pen, but as far as nib white, it's a serious nib that it really writes really well.
And speaking of a copy pen, that's not a copy pen, but Troy, I had seen those Labatou. I was shocked how they can get away with. How can they do that? I mean, it is so identical.
It is. It's intellectual property ripoff, no doubt. I mean, this is a Curados for all intents and purposes. They took one, they copied it, they just put cheaper materials on it. I was wondering, how are they going to get a pen that retails for $90 to sell for $9.50? Well, you mass produce them, and now granted, $90 was overpriced anyway for the Curados, but and they're still selling for $90, by the way, because there's some sellers still pushing. But yeah, that was $9.50. This one right here, and I mean, it is so identical. And I do the side-by-side comparison in that last video that I did on it, that I think I put out just yesterday. And I mean, it writes okay. It's $9.50. Okay. Is a Curados worth 10 times the price? No. But the Curados is still a better pen, still better constructed, and still writes better than this. But for $9, $9.50, I wanted to see, okay, is it all right? All right, for $9 or $9.50, okay, shipped to my door. It's worth trying, but
okay, I've got two of them coming. Yeah, I've got the demo and then the one, the solid blue one. So, and yours are extra fine, isn't that right?
This one I got was a fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, mine are extra fine. That's all they had. So yeah.
I want to say I bought my Curados from Frank, and Frank, obviously it's a lot of money for that pen, but I love that Curados. I mean, I use it and I love it. I love the size of it. I mean, I would pick that up I know it's hard to say, over the Vanishing Point.
No, you did not.
I've got plenty. I got plenty of Vanishing Points. I've got 4 or 5 of them. But that Curados, it's the size. I think it's just the size I like a lot.
Yeah, the Curados reminds me of the Vanishing Point. That's why I like mine.
Well, yeah.
It was going after the vanishing point. I mean, it's a metal, it's a plastic pen with a metal nib, but again, it was meant to be compared with the vanishing point. So for half the price, you're getting the same feel. It's a nice carry. If you don't like this clip, actually, this clip is in a great position compared to the VP. Some people aren't crazy about where the VP is, the girth of the VP. That's why the Decimo created. The Decimo is actually the same circumference as the original faceted Namikis of the 70s and the 80s. So if you like a Namiki from the 80s, if you like that faceted Namiki, you will like a Decimo. And they make Decimos in all kinds of colors, dark, light. They make up for that.
Yep. Mark C, what do you got there, Mark C?
Yeah, I've got a Decimo right here.
Oh, there you go.
For work, yeah. I got the Kurdos. I like you. I like the Kurdos a lot too.
Yeah.
It's a lot bigger. I got bigger hands, so I prefer the girth of the Kurdos.
But they come with a tool. You could take this clip off.
Right.
Just like some people like to do a cliptoctomy, whatever they call it.
Yours came with a clickectomy.
A vasectomy for clips, right? So some people remove the.
I have to go to a Jewish rabbi, and the rabbi does that, I believe.
Oil.
It's a oil.
So we have a bris ceremony.
Thank you.
But yours came with a tool to take the clip off, because my Kuridas had nothing of the sort.
There's supposed to be a little gray clip.
Yeah, look under the
tool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't get any such thing in mine.
Huh. I got one in mine. So.
Yeah.
Hey guys, I've got a vanishing point with no clip whatsoever.
Oh,
you have it.
Can cut that.
Can you see that?
Yes.
Nice. Did you have it taken off or what?
No, I got it at the pen show. I've got about 4 of them because I hate the clip. I hate it.
And your pen has had the procedure.
And any event, I got there's a fella from North Carolina by the name of Crazy Al.
I know Alan.
Yeah.
Yes, there is.
Yeah, and Al bring 3 or 4 with him, and I've got about 4 of them, different colors. I've got also the stealth one. This is the Stormtrooper, and I really love that clip. I never could understand why Pilot makes that annoying clip without removing it. It's just ridiculous.
For me, because I love clips on pens. I have to have it.
Yeah.
One of Alan's techs is very good at doing that. So yes, one of the girls that works for him is very good at doing that. She's the one that usually posts that on Instagram.
You can't even tell it. It looks like it came without the clip.
Yeah, right. I mean, I'm trying to figure out how that comes off of there. Yeah, I have no idea.
There are how-tos on Instagram and YouTube to do that. I never did it, but you can do it.
Frank, why do you think Pilot has never made one that without the clip, or one where you can put the clip on and take it off real easily? It would seem to me to make sense.
I can't answer. I guess it's a personal taste. It's not meant to take off. There are other pens. There's the Custom 74. The 912. There's plenty of different choices out there. The 92 Heritage. If you don't like that design, you could still get a gold nib Pilot pen with a nice size like that in a more traditional shape and pattern, which we have. But if you like the VPs, that's available. And like I said, they made the Decimo for people that don't like the girth. I think it's more of the girth than it is the fact that the clip's there. I think it's more of the width of the pen, the circumference.
Let me ask you guys about, speaking of girth, the Dialogue 3, the Lamy Dialogue 3. Probably Tony would love that,
Oh, I love it. I've got 2.
Yeah.
I got to ask you, Frank, I'm waiting for that
pen.
The new CC to come out. I'm waiting to hear from you when that does come out, because that may be one of them.
Sure, there's no word yet on an ETA. I think when John Ryan was with us, I think he said September, but the last email that I had gotten was it was still on delay.
Yeah.
There's also a limited edition Yarushi one coming out too. you might have seen on Instagram and all that for Dialogue 3.
Wow.
So yes.
Yeah, those are nice.
All right, folks.
All right, Larry.
This is it.
Well,
All right.
can we thank everyone here for joining? And I tried to send out. I don't know. I
Same
know you
here.
all are.
Yeah.
I know that you all follow the Facebook page of Larry, but I also tried to send an instant message to everybody the day of the Zoom.
Yeah, that's very helpful. I didn't get one.
You did?
I got
No.
I got two.
Oh wow.
I've been putting it on Facebook, on both Facebook groups, and then I put it on YouTube. That's how I do mine. Sometimes I do them individually. That takes too long. So
Yeah, no, I do a group thing. So.
Oh, okay. All right. So folks, thanks to everybody for coming. Congratulations to the winner.
Thank you. Thank you.
Wow.
Thank you.
And Mark,
Thank you.
whatever. It's a pleasure, my brother, to always see you on here. Yeah, take care of your big brother, because if you don't, what's going to happen to him?
And their dad. And their dad. Don't forget their dad.
Yeah, and Daddy. Well, you know what, Tony? I think Daddy takes care of both of them still.
Yeah.
Tony, you coming to Chicago?
No. Oh no, I'm afraid not. I'm playing that weekend. I'm since COVID is kind of was lifted a little bit, a lot of I'm getting calls every week to play. I mean, they're trying to.
Great. That's terrific. Yeah.
Yeah, it is. More money to buy pens with, right?
Yeah, there you go.
Troy.
Frank, could you please message me or connect with me and let me know what I'm supposed to do here?
Sure, Linus, no problem. Yeah, you're in my database, so I will get back to you. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All good. Thank you.
Thank you for the gifts, people. Thank you. Thank you.
Larry, that's Larry for you.
All right, folks. Well, that's the end of the road today. Until the next show, be safe. God bless. Take care. Until the next one.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Talk to y'all later. Let's see. We're going to start recording right here.